Well, hey folks, pt.17 here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Haute Beyleron. Indeed, we are here on the farm, Farm Sim 22, and it's yeah, beautiful day. And ah, well, good thing is it's way too late in the season to be worried about harvesting, so at least we know that can't go wrong. Those things are gonna go. Yeah. They're gonna go. Now, I'm not too sure how fitting it is to put lime on the field when it's hammering down like this, because from what I remember of the dolomite lime, if you add water, it doesn't exactly dissolve like sugar. It tends to cake up like flour, or perhaps more fittingly, concrete. So we'll just have to be lucky this is only a sim game, and you know, do it anyway. Yes, indeed. So if you're new to the channel, welcome, welcome. Glad to have you here. I hope you enjoy the content, and of course if you do, feel free to alright, that is not working. Feel free to hit that subscribe button, and possibly even a like if you enjoy it. Alright, you do want lime? You need lime. Okay, so here you go. You can't lime in the rain either. So, alright, well, there are other things that we can tend to, I believe. Let's drop that there. Now, here's the deal. I can get along without a cultivator, but I can't get along without a plow. So I have been into the wonderful world of mods. And if we go to Ploughs, here we are. Now this is, yeah. We've got this guy for 24k. 5 meter, 180 horse. Now it is a Lemkin cultivator, but it's had the script changed so that it's actually a plow. I mean, it's got all the plow bits, you can see that. And so I think we're going to say bye-bye. Bye-bye. To our little combo kit. I think it's really cool to use. The issue I have with it is these fields are not what it is, and that is, of course, tiny. Yeah. 2 or 3 meters might be okay for a wee bit of a farm, but I'm far too lazy for that. I want something that's at least 5 or 6 meters in size if I can get it, and we can get it. So, look how well I judged the brakes this time. I only took up the entire lane. I'm gonna cheat. Here we go. Wet grass will wash some of the dirt off the thing too for when we sell it. This is a pretty bumpy hill sometimes. Depends where you hit it. Yeah, see, there's some pretty good bumps in there, man. Nobody coming, let's just whip right across. Beautiful. Alrighty. Now we have to unfold this, don't we? See, I told you the rain would clean it off. Look at it. Shiny, happy. Yes, bye. Okay. Let's... You're not even gonna let me in on a day like this? Really? You suck. What? Oh, those are downloads. Okay. Oh, we're already. So those are mods that didn't come from the mod hub, I guess. Or maybe it's the ones that did and didn't. Either way. But plows. See, it doesn't show a cultivator here. Let's go into the store for a moment. There's just something a little bit hinky-doodle here. So what is it we actually have? Is it this thing? It's this thing. Okay. And it went with... What? Okay, hang on. But you don't get paid for that when you sell it, because we're down to 21. Well, anyway, yeah, we are gonna sell it. Okay, and we are going to pick up this guy. Do I care what color it is? Not in the slightest. Yes. So basically for $3 grand we've got that. Alright. There it is over there. Now that is a decent sized plow. And we can actually run it with this tractor, which kind of makes the whole thing worth it, doesn't it? Here we go. So, hey, it's really good to hear from some of my longtime viewers that I haven't heard from in a while. It's, you know, Reefy has left a comment. He's been watching a video or two. That's awesome. I think he's been around since, well, how long has it been, Mike? Probably since I started playing for him, then, eh? And then there's my buddy Delirious. He's at Becker. Yes, indeed. I can't imagine right now. These poor bugger's probably up to his neck in snoo. You know, snoo? What do you mean, what's snoo? What's snoo with you? No, it's it's what you think of when people go, oh yeah, Canada. Yeah, pretty much. Although, I mean, I believe he's down in Montreal, which is, you know, well south in the province. It's not like he's up in northern Quebec where you'd be, you know. Although, I lived in Ottawa, it's kind of south, and there was lots of winters that we were sitting on 14 feet of snow by the end of November. So, you know. Alright. Are you going to let me plow in this weather? I guess we could have folded that up for the trip over here. Nah, we'll just leave her flapping in the wind. So yeah, it's good. It is really good. I want to make sure we get her all. Now I wonder if there's, oh, I better make sure it's not on, like, create fields. No, it's not. Okay, cool. Well, let's drop her down. Grunch. And, head on out, man. There we go. Because she needs a plowing. She do need a plowing. They say we don't need to cultivate. Our seeder will take care of that. Now, we don't have a planter yet. Something to keep in mind. And it wouldn't hurt us to have one, let me tell you. But I don't know that we're going to find ourselves a planter that... Sorry, mate. Go ahead. Lovely. That's going to have the same functionality, so we may end up having to get a cultivator to run a planter. But we don't need one for seeding, so that kind of gives us a bit of a leg up. Yeah. I'm going to hire a worker here just for a moment. There we go. Just so we can go in and look at these sort of things. Here, you take over while I read this book, okay? Alright, planters. Yes, indeed. Yeah, they go right from, oh, that's not bad, to holy cow, look at how much money these things are. 3 meter. Yeah, that's 4.5 meter. Again, I want at least a 5 or 6 meter. Alright, that's not bad. No grindy choppy there. Or there. Yeah, see, this is, like I said. Oh, here we are. Once you get into the 230, quarter of a, oh, it's just, yeah, let's call it what it is. Once you get into the $250,000 units, then all of a sudden you don't need to cultivate. Wow, man. Yeah, that's the only one, is this John Deere that doesn't require cultivation. So, basically we're looking at $54K for a decent size planter. And then, that means we'll also need a cultivator of about the same size. That's 4 meter. 5 meter, that's the minimum. What do we got back this end? What's a mod? Oh. This one, if you want to get... Oh, here we are. This is the one I'd be changing. The Vector 460. Yeah. You go up to the 6 meter guy from the 4.6, and that's a big jump. It goes from 32,000 to almost 50. Wow. But that's not bad. I mean, not the... even 4.6 meters isn't terrible. So... back down at this end. Yeah, 5 meter, 24,000. So, altogether, we're gonna... we're gonna... go home, boy. Your services are not required. Just slam into the side of it. There's no in between, is there? Alright. So yeah, 70K will get us into a place where we actually have the ability to plant all of the crops available. Oh, I guess except for the, I don't imagine either of those plants olives or grapes, do they? So that'll be a whole different can of tuna for sure. Now that thing being where it's parked is gonna be super annoying. There you are, mate. Busy little road, isn't it? But so far, I have not been physically assaulted on the roads by the AI, so I suppose that's a good thing, you know. Was stopped manually. He was forcibly ejected from the tractor. Well, I mean, if they're going to get descriptive about it, they might as well tell the whole story, you know? Yeah, no problem. Look at that. Are you serious? It would rather do that. Oh, there's chocks under the wheels. Why would they put chocks under the wheels, man? You safety conscious. I don't know. I think they did it just to make life hard. Okay, so you would hook up to the weight if it was on the back, but you won't hook up to it when it's on the front. Oh, look. Give it beans! Arrgh, Billy. Their only wooden chocks will eventually wear them off. Alright. And thank you very much. Okay, back to work. Would it have been quicker to simply hook the thing up and move it? No. There you are. I'm sticking to that story. Alright, let's go. Tractor seems to have a little bit of a pull to the right. Just a bit. Could be because it's dragging part of the plow through the already pre-chewed ground. I don't know. I was watching a video this morning of one of the people I follow playing a sort of survival-y crafting, base building kind of game. Myth of Empires, it was called. So that, well, that's pretty cool. I think that would, you know, it's very, 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 and wait for it, very much like Conan, except it's not put out by Funcom. And yeah, right now I got kind of a beef with Funcom. But it turns out it's so much like Conan that they're being accused of basically stealing code from Conan to make the game. Which is too bad, because in a way it's at least as good as Conan is. And I really like that game, I just absolutely despise the way Funcom is handling it. You know, it's almost 120 gigs on my drive when I have it installed. Do you know how much of that is the actual game? Maybe 70 gigs? The rest of it is because every single time they release a DLC, you know, even though the DLCs for it are basically, other than Isle of Sipta, are just, you know, here's some horse armor. You know what I mean? Like, basically, yeah. And of course I use that example because it's kind of a meme, right? But every time they do that, your game gets updated and that gear gets loaded in there. So that if by chance you don't have enough pixels to cover your character in and want to spend real life money on it, you won't actually even have to download anything. You know what I mean? Like, or I don't know what their reasoning is. I just don't see any other reason for it. Hey, the sun is out. Or at least it stopped raining. That's a good thing. So, and every single update is a 6 or 7 gigabyte update on top of what you have. And like I said, they're not updates, right? It's every DLC they come out with, they install into your game. So yeah, I just finally, after the last one, I don't even know what they were releasing, but it was the same deal. You know, it was basically some people armor, some horse armor, and a couple of building blocks, right? Not something you'd expect to take up that much of a patch, but I guess they say the reason for it, of course, is because you could play it multiplayer, and oh, the hue and cry if somebody has a certain thing on a server, you know, like, say, one of the Asian packs, like the Oriental packs, where you get the really cool-looking blocks and stuff, and someone else didn't, they wouldn't see that person's buildings. So everybody has to have the DLC, even if they can't use it. Now, I can think of lots of games that have DLC that are multiplayer. You know, and I mean, if you play Farm Sim 19 multiplayer, everybody has to have the same mods or it doesn't work, right? So this is sort of the same thing, I guess, that Funcom's doing. The only difference is, if I play this for a year, I might have a mod folder somewhere on my computer for FS22 mods that's 2 gigs in size, right? And that's going to have 30 trailers in it, 5 maps, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Like that, it's going to be a lot of content. You know, like, more than you would play on a multiplayer server, because the server, excuse me, the last thing you want to do is put 3 gigs worth of mods on, right? But yeah, not for Conan. So anyway, yeah, this other game is not currently on the Steam store. Yeah, because Funcom has asked Steam to take it down. Now, the company that makes the game guarantees they took no code. You know, I mean, they're not trying to hide the fact that it's very much like Conan and that it was inspired by it, but, you know, there's a lot of games that are like Half-Life, but they didn't have to steal Half-Life's code to make them. You know, yeah, I don't know. I mean, who knows, maybe in the end it'll turn out that, yeah, they just, you know, got somebody that used to work for Funcom to come in and, you know, poo the content out on the desk and go, okay, let's stir it up with a stick and see if we can make it smell like something else. Those sort of things do happen, you know, and they're probably much, much easier to do in this day and age of computers than they were to do, you know, 20 years ago. So I don't doubt it happens, but yeah, too bad though. We would have had a new series for the channel that, like I said, would have been very much like Conan, but not set in the Hyborian Age, though, of course. I believe it's set in a more, I don't know. That I'm not sure of. I didn't actually see anything else that was human or human-made for the portion of time I watched the video. I watched about 15 minutes of it, thought it was going to be a pretty good game. I don't particularly like the presenter, right? But the game's name caught my attention. And now that when you use YouTube on certain devices, the YouTube app shows a little bit at the beginning of the video, just by mousing over it, more or less. On my TV, I don't mouse over it, but you know what I mean. So, yeah. Thought, that looks a lot like Conan, first thing that went through my head once they were out of the character creator. You know, just the action of how things were picked up and how the skills were acquired and all of that sort of thing. But, yeah, too bad. But yeah, after about 15 minutes in, I decided to go to my PC and look it up on Steam, see if it was something I could squeeze a budget out for. But, no. Apparently I can more than afford it because it doesn't exist. Yeah. I went to their website, and on their forums they did make mention of it, said they were trying to work it out with Steam because, you know, we guarantee blah 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 that, you know, nothing like this has happened, and yeah. But anyway, that's news from the internet. No, just something I ran into today. Other thing I ran into today is, thanks to my ex-wife, my only form of telephone communications is a system called Pay-As-You-Go. It's a no-contract cell phone service, basically. But you're charged by the minute, whether you're local or long-distance calling. And whether you're calling out or someone's calling in, they still charge you. So I had to make an appointment with my doctor. It's 6 months since I had that surgery, and I'm supposed to go and have some imaging done and a couple of other things at the 6-month mark to make sure that what they did took. You know, I mean, they put some artificial parts in there and sewed them to real parts and you name it, so... And by all rights, you know, you would think having a family doctor and them being aware of it, that after 6 months they would contact you and go, hey, you need to come in for your checkup for your post-op blah blah blah. But of course that's not the way the world works anymore. So, well, how does this relate to my phone? Well, I had to, because even though everything else in our town is basically, other than where government restrictions say you must have a vaccine thing to be able to enter, like nightclubs and stuff, everything else is pretty much no resemblance to any lockdown situation at all. You have to wear masks. That's still a mandatory thing when you go into a business. But beyond that, it's not like there's fewer people working or, you know, that there's much of anything else going on with it. Except for the doctor's clinic. You know, and this particular one, there's 2 or 3 of them in town, but no doctors take patients anymore either. So, you know, if you have one, stay with them. You don't have a choice. But there's 2 or 3 of them in town, and they're all the same thing, right? They're regular business hours, everything's back to normal, except you must wear a mask while you're in there. And you have to tell them if you have any sort of symptoms that might be the thing, right? So... not this clinic, no. They are still locked doors, and you have to make a phone. You make a phone appointment to have a doctor call you so they can determine if you need a hands-on appointment. Yeah. Well, because of that system, it cost me $18 to make my doctor's appointment this morning. Yeah. Can you imagine paying $18? It's even with my gimpy legs and stuff, I could walk there. That's how close it is. You know, it's a 3-minute ride in a car. So can you imagine paying $18 for a phone call, basically across the street? Yeah. I don't know. I'll tell you. It is a perplexing world. My brother Mikey keeps telling me I should use my channel that nobody knows about and start a rant channel. I said, no. I've been avoiding that my entire YouTube career, man. But he figures I do well at it. I don't know why. He figures I'm either a major whinger or I have good communication skills. I'm not sure. Or maybe, as he puts it, well, you sound like that hairball painter fella. Yeah, you're not the first person to tell me that, buddy. Yeah. But anyway, we know what we're going to be doing after this, eh? Yes, sucking up rocks. Well, actually, I suppose we can put the lime on now that the rain has stopped. Hopefully. We'd better be able to put the lime on now that the rain has stopped. It's the only reason I can think of that it didn't work. Of course, I can't check it, even if I was to hire a worker, because we have one tractor. Yes. And usually, because of the massive modding scene, I've got 2 or 3, because one of them I probably paid, you know, $4 grand for. Yeah, not so much. I did go on luck. And, other than some that were obvious converts from, you know, FS17 or sometimes 19, and that's not a bad thing. It's kind of like the modded maps right now. They're all either Elm Creek or this map modified. Oh, some Alpine modifications too. But, yeah. And some of them look pretty iffy. You know. And a lot of them were just simply reskinned current models. And going for the same prices. I mean, good heavens, there was, even the, like a Schluter 2500, usually pretty cheap tractor. You know, they haven't been new for a while. No, I think, $128,000 or something it started at. I'm like, what? Yeah, that's fine. If I'm gonna spend 128 grand on a tractor, I'll buy myself another 7 Series dudes. You know? Wow. So, I don't think it's quite caught up with my cheap tastes yet. You know, oh, I suppose we could check the used market once in a while. I always forget. Garbage. Okay. Now you know why I always forget about it. Wow, I'm really being generous with my overlap. I'm never going to get this field done at that rate. But the good thing is, folks, you won't have to suffer through it, because I'm going to call the episode here. And, yeah. I mean, this field does have to sit over the winter. We're way too far into things to put anything in it other than I believe we might still be able to put grass in it. But like I said before, that's, well, grass work is going to cost us, you know, as much as getting the planter and the cultivator are going to cost. So, I think at this point, I would prefer to go with the planter and the cultivator. But there you go. Alright guys, I'm going to call it here. So, this is a big field. Ugh. I'm glad we didn't do it again with that little 3-meter plow. Alright. Again, if you enjoyed the video, please remember to hit that like button. And, above all, take care of each other. And ciao for now.